The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Monday morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN. Hope you had a great weekend out there. And all you Patriots fans. Oh, that was a tough one, but congrats to those Seahawks last night. Quite a defensive performance, some scoring late in the game. But, man, that defense, Patriots, we'll see. Maybe that young QB drank May. Maybe he'll mature in the years to come. But, boy, Seahawks got it done last night. The market, we picked things up this morning slightly in the red. Quite a surge Friday. We haven't seen something like that in a long time, folks. You're talking about over 200 points from lows to high. Thursday night to Friday, you finish almost at session highs. And right now, we're off by 0.25%. The S&P's off 16 points at 69.36. NASDAQ 100, how about over 1,000 points from lows to where we were as of the close almost on Friday, but you got up there last night. And, folks, the volatility's not stopping just yet, okay? NASDAQ 100, from the overnight session last night to the lows of early this morning at about 5:45, yeah, you're talking about almost 400 points. Okay, we reach a low of 24,968 this morning. Then we go up 200. We've backed down almost 100 points from there. And we're just kicking off the trading week. NASDAQ 100 off by 0.4% or 93 points. Dow off a similar 93 points, only 0.2%. We ring the 50,000 bell on Friday for the first time ever, and we're slightly in the red this morning. And how about the Russell on Friday? From 25.66 to 26.89. 121 points, more than a 4% run from lows to highs. Remarkable. Now, Bitcoin. No reprieve just yet, folks. Okay, and I say no reprieve. It's a slight reprieve. You're trading at 68,000 on Bitcoin. Okay, that was quite a bounce we got on Friday. You did it on some decent volume, but just like that, we're pushing lows. That's a one-day buy. Bitcoin, keep those spikes up, as we say. Ethereum off 2.2% this morning. We jump over to yields. You get the 10-year right now. After quite the volatile session last week, at 4.22, the yield on the 10-year, 4.22. We jump over the dollar, and you got dollar weakness. Look at this move, man. 96.73 in the dollar. We got action going on in Japan. You got gold up by $57, up 1.1%. Silver up by 3.5%, 79.62. You check in on platinum, negative by $15 at $2,083. And copper up by 1 penny at 5.89. And yeah, let's check out the dollar yen. Look at this move, man. So this is yen strengthening, right, folks? This is how many yen, $1 of US dollar will get you, or how many yen do you got to pay for $1? Right? Well, at the beginning of Sunday night, you were going to have to pay 157 yen. Well, the yen has strengthened. You now only need to pay 155 yen. We have yen strength, dollar weakness. Jump over some of the other currency pairs. Jump over the euro, US dollar. Check out that move. Whew. Euro strength, dollar weakness. Look at this move, man. All right. And that's a lot of dollar weakness in terms of a decisive move at 96.98. And you could have seen gold up by more than you're up today, folks. You're barely up 1%. We got the dollar ripping lower right now. All right. And we jump over to the world of weight loss drugs before we go over. Man, these suits, when I saw this come off, they didn't do a good job of, I was reading some of these articles when Hims was pushing the obesity drugs. I'm like, how is all this happening? How are they selling their drugs themselves, right? Well, now they're getting sued. Novo's suing Hims and Hers for making knockoffs of their obesity medicines, even as Hims scrapped the plans to sell that copycat version of the Wegovy pill. Says they're breaching patent on semaglutide, the active ingredient, and it's a more aggressive approach. Until now, the legal strategy focused on the way the companies like Hims market their products. Novo says the first time it's sued over the patent infringement. And yeah, that was one step too far, a Wegovy pill. Not going to happen is what they said. That one's just going to keep going. And on the biotech frontier, Lilly, big week for them last week. Orna Therapeutics, $2.4 billion in cash. Autoimmune diseases such as rheumatoid arthritis and MS. You're trading higher on that news. How about this volatility in the last week, man? From 1,000 to 1,100, almost back to 1,000, and you're going to be at 1,080 for Lilly. Let's check out the volume on this equity. All right, let's check out the big dogs. Quite the volatile session last week as well. Amazon, disappointing, only in that they're going to spend so much money last week. Could have disappointed a little bit more in terms of what they were talking about for cloud. But nonetheless, the big deal was how much they're spending, and NVIDIA shares love that on Friday. And look at the volume, right? That's how you want to see a volume acceleration. You find a bid. That's finding a bid, folks. NVIDIA, 231 million shares. One of the highest volume days we've seen this year. Is it the highest? Most volume we've had all year. That's how you like to trade with strength, man. Let's jump over to Amazon shares. You're going to be slightly in the red this morning for Amazon. Not how you like to break away on volume. And Amazon right now, this is a tough looking chart on a weekly basis, folks. You take out so much of the consolidation, you do it on volume, and what's standing in the way of this thing testing the April lows? Not much right now. And you're at 209. The lows of that at 192. You're only $17 away. Google down about $3 to kick things off. Strong numbers for Google on Wednesday, but we're down almost $15 from where we came into those numbers. Microsoft going to be a few bucks in the positive right now, coming into the open. Look at that selling in Microsoft, though. Compare that to NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA looks strong, man. You're down $1.40 on the open, but that was quite a move on Friday. Not the same with some of these other equities out there, like Meta, these big spenders. Jump over to Apple. Yeah, look at this acceleration for Apple. Apple's up $35 in the last few weeks. And look at the volume. Watch this. Look at these volumes. That's how you like to accelerate, man. If you're looking at Apple, put that channel on your charts. It is well defined. And here we are again, challenging the top end of that channel. Just pull back to almost the 50% line of that channel, and boom, here we are. Higher prices. Apple shares going to be flat. S&P's off by 16. All right, folks, stay tuned. We'll come back. We'll look at some metals. Gold up by $56. But on a day where the dollar's getting decimated. 96.95. We're coming right back, folks.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Morning Market Kickoff is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. We got the S&P down by about 0.25%, 69.34, and yeah, we got some volatility, man. Even since about 8 a.m. this morning, S&P is down 20 points from where we were, and you talk about 50 points from where we were at 3 in the morning till 5:30 in the morning. So we got volatility everywhere in this market. In the currency market, okay, in the metals market, VIX right now is sitting at 1867. And let's talk about Japan. So we see yen strength, dollar weakness this morning. And yeah, Japanese Prime Minister Takaichi, am I saying that right? Takaichi secured a historic election triumph, positioning her the nation's strongest leader in the post-war era. 2/3 supermajority. Imagine if we had a 2/3 supermajority and you could do anything you wanted. You could almost get constitutional amendments done, which do get done, folks. Hasn't been done in forever. Okay, but they do get done. 2/3 supermajority, 465-seat lower house, with a tally of 316 seats. That's a big one, man. Mandate to push ahead with bold spending plans gave fresh life to the so-called Takaichi trade, right? Yeah, I think so. I should know. I took Japanese for 6 years, folks. Takaichi, pretty sure. Underpinning stock while weighing, and we're going to get to know her name for sure. And yeah, you got the Nikkei up 5.7. Let's see where they are right now. Yeah, so you got the Nikkei now up about 3.9%. The Nikkei 225 crosses 57,000 for the first time ever. Hang Seng's up 1.7%. Shanghai's up 1.4% right now. There's your Nikkei 225, skyrocketing above 57,000. So a lot going on there. In terms of even you're talking about cutting the sales tax on food. What's she going to talk about for the yen? Well, guess what? You got Japanese markets going higher. You got yen strength, and we got dollar weakness right now. And that dollar weakness, not necessarily to do with Japan, although you better believe that's impacting everything. But this could be part of it as well. And I just saw pictures of this in the den. I'm going to post this one. Let me see. Yeah, I will. I'll post a link to this one in the Tiger's Den. Okay, a gifted article. If you're not in the Tiger's Den, folks, please get in the Tiger's Den. I can't post these links as easily over the YouTube Tiger's Den. I'll try and do that, but sometimes they're actually too long when I gift this article. Okay, here we go. I'll gift it right now. I'll throw it in there. There's a copy of it. We'll throw it in the den. Because, yeah, thanks for posting a picture of that one, Mike, but check it out. This will be the gifted article talking about the Fed, and this would have a monumental impact. You better believe it. So Mr. Warsh, he's coming in. New Fed chair in May, likely, as long as he's confirmed. Has floated plenty of ideas of how he'd run the Fed. His call for a new accord with the Treasury Department, right? Voicing support for overhauling the relationship between the two institutions with a new version of an agreement that was struck 75 years ago. Yeah. That pact had dramatically limited the Fed's footprint in the bond market. Something that's not true today. After trillions of dollars in securities purchases during the global financial crisis, the Fed chair began to debate just what he intends. Okay, now, a more ambitious effort involving a shakeup of the Fed's current $6 trillion portfolio, you better believe it could add volatility. Okay, and then you tie into the Treasury, okay, getting into yield curve control. And the Fed is in yield curve control. Okay, so you better believe it's going to have an impact if this goes through. The Fed had capped both short and long-term, long-dated Treasury yields during World War II. And its aftermath to hold down federal borrowing costs. That recipe caused inflation to soar. And the Truman administration then agreed to let policymakers set rates on their own. And Warsh said last April that the Fed had effectively violated the principles with its massive wave of bond purchases. He's argued that these actions encourages reckless government borrowing. We're going to see. Because in the age of the president, folks, using Fannie and Freddie with $200 billion worth of mortgage-backed securities, you have an investigation of the home builders, right, that was out for antitrust. Okay, Lennar, there's your move on Friday to their antitrust concerns. D.R. Horton as well. They're going to try and push this housing market. And if there's one emergency going on right now, and everything's an emergency right now in this administration, but I'd argue the housing deal that nobody can afford a house is a very real emergency. And so I'm anxious to see what kind of emergencies are going to dictate what they can do, and I think it's going to happen. So I'd be surprised if somehow you get a dramatic roll-off in that degree. And yeah. Treasury securities in the orange, mortgage-backed securities in the gray. How do you like that? $6 trillion. A meatier version of an accord would lay out what many market participants expect, a rollover of the holdings from mid and longer term securities to bills which mature in 12 months or less. That would allow the Treasury to scale back sales of notes and bonds or not boost them as much otherwise. The department drew a link between Fed actions and its issuance plan, saying it while keeping an eye. Yeah, we're already heading down the path of closer Fed Treasury coordination. And yeah, there's the part. If they're working together and they make a deal, right, that the Treasury can just count on the Fed to buy a portion of their debt, but guess what? It might be what's happening, folks. And yeah, an independent Fed is important. We'll see how they hedge those two if you have different accords. Check out that article. It's a long one, folks. I could spend the whole hour, but we're coming back. We're talking equities, and we're going to take a look at metals as well. S&P's off by 17. We'll come right back, folks.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. S&P's right now down 20 points to kick things off, trading at 69.32. NASDAQ off about 0.6%. The Dow right now negative by 98 points, 50,100. We jump over to Walmart. Quite a week last week for Walmart. You pushed to all-time highs. This morning, we're basically flat, 131.18. NVIDIA following the big gains of Friday. Slightly in the red, only off by about 40 pennies at 185 right now. We check in on Amazon. Continue lower. So Friday, digest their tough numbers. You're off by 2.1%. You're going to spend $200 billion. That was a tough part of that one. You jump over to Apple shares. Down about 0.2% right now. And Microsoft, call it flat. Checking on the big dogs. Meta shares right now, flat as well. And Google. All right, Google giving it back as well. Off by 1.7% right now. We go over to Comcast. So pretty remarkable. They got the Olympics going on this weekend. Saying yesterday, imagine, for all the money that Comcast NBC pays for the Olympics, you get about 14 days, right? You get 2 weeks of Olympics. Maybe you get 16 or 17 days when you go through the final weekend. And one of those days you have the Super Bowl, which takes up so much of it. So they have a lot going on right now, Comcast. Let's check out the daily. Yeah, quite an acceleration. Look at this. From 25 to 31 bucks right now. We check in on the streamers. Oh, man. Netflix cannot find a bid, folks. Whew. I mean, we are about to break the April lows. The April lows, 82.11. 82.11. Yeah, we're below that area right now. And look at the accelerations in volume. Okay, these are good volume numbers to the downside. I mean, 70 bucks is hanging out here. The highs of 2021. Spending a lot of money for Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers down 0.5% right now. Paramount Skydance down 0.7% at 10.50. We check in on the father Ellison. There you go. Oracle's up 5.2%. What's going on with Oracle today? What do we got? A bullish analyst. We got something. They're buying. Let's check out this. All right, we're going to need a bid with some volume in this equity because, boy, that was not the way you like to see something trade lower, folks. The volume just continuing to ramp up. Last week, over 205 million shares. Coming into the April lows. They're doing it with volume. Let's pull up the daily. All right, you want to see a bid with, 40, 50 million shares here. You want to see a real bid. We haven't had any volume in this equity until backing up at 190. And that volume here on December 11th, that was negative volume. You were trading lower on that equity. And yeah, look at this, man. Let's see how big this company still is. Now, they're getting sued for their infringement on, so $3.8 billion. You're down by 27%. My goodness. I mean, what's hanging out here? 10 bucks. 10 bucks? 10 bucks. You're at 1670. Hims and hers. So Novo, yeah. And can you imagine the conversations going on with this in terms of they already pulled their copycat weight loss drug off the market, and now it's happening anyway. They're suing them anyway. So they must have really had them in a binder if they were pulling it preemptively to try and avoid it, and they're coming after them anyway. Down 28%. Whew. And yeah, so Oracle got an upgrade. Get some upgrades out there. We're starting to get to the point we're approaching some prices that people are seeing attractive prices where they currently weren't. You got Robinhood up by 1.8%. They get an upgrade to buy from Wolf Research. All right, let's take a look at the metals. Now, the dollar's getting decimated today. Okay, you're down 65 pennies. It is a decisive move. And you don't have that type of a move in gold, okay? And this is a nice bounce. That's your weekly. You check out the daily. There's no resounding buys here. Okay, the biggest daily volume day we've had on the upside is 251,000 contracts. I mean, you just had a day on the downside of 421, 557, 494, and 377. Friday's bounce, which was dramatic in price, was 171,000 contracts. That's one of the lightest volume days we've had since January, early January. I'd like to see some follow through of that, because same deal with silver. Friday's volume in silver, one of the lowest volume days we've had almost all year. 105,000 contracts. Meanwhile, you traded from 63 to 78. Folks, you traded up $15 in silver, and it only traded 105,000 contracts. I'm hearing my dad saying, there's less people in the store, and price just went up $15. Doesn't mean it can't go up again, folks, okay? But it would be nice to see some volume to cement this for a real bid in some of these metals. Be careful of the volume out there. Platinum, a little bit more improved from some of the bids that we had, but still 27,000 contracts. You check out copper. Yeah, copper's held up pretty well. We're checking on some of the copper stocks. Look how well they've held up. Hey, it'd be nice to see more volume again on Friday. Freeport, you're up by another 3% today as we have metals higher. Well, this thing, you're only 10% off the highs. Southern Copper, about $14 off the highs. Yeah, same thing. Just such a light day of volume on Friday. GDX up by 2.3% right now. XAU up by 2.5. HUI, same deal. All right, we check in on crypto. So MicroStrategy, quite a bounce on Friday. You're talking a run of almost 35% from the lows Thursday after their numbers. Crypto catches a bit of a pop. It's a nice day on Friday. I'm skeptical of this market, but hey, if you're looking for a bid, man, you know, you got to give crypto some room. But there's your bid, 60,000 on Bitcoin. Remarkably, yeah, you're coming back and testing the highs of 2021. We're coming right back, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds for both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey. Because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We got S&Ps charging higher on the open. Back to positive territory. Look at that acceleration right over the highs of 8 a.m. We're up by 1 point. NASDAQ 100 down just 0.1% or 31 points. The Dow right now off about 0.3%, off 152 points, and the Russell off by 6. Okay. Jump over to metals. Gold up by $75. You jump back to that dollar. 96.94 right now in the dollar. And yeah, let's talk a little bit of China and the dollar. China urges banks to curb exposure to U.S. Treasuries. Whether you're talking about yields, you're talking about the dollar, right? We've talked about whether you have the Fed now working with the Treasury potentially, and how that may play into where our rates go, inflation goes. And yeah, regulators have advised financial institutions in China to rein in their holdings of treasuries, citing concern over concentration risk and market volatility. Limit purchases of U.S. government bonds and instructed those with high exposure to pare down their positions. And that does not apply to the state holdings. All right, they're talking about financial institutions in China, which are pretty closely intertwined with the state as well. Diversifying market risk rather than anything to do with geopolitical maneuvering. Verbally, some of it. Yeah, large holdings of U.S. government debt may expose banks to sharp swings. Well, folks, I'd tell you the same thing. If you think about going out long-term on the curve especially, you better be careful if you're holding a lot of longer-term U.S. debt right now. Chinese banks held almost $300 billion worth of dollar-denominated bonds as of September. Unclear how much of those were treasuries. Yeah, look at that decoupling, man. And hey, politics come into it, right? But imagine when you're talking about investing, and then they're investing in the U.S., and the president's out there saying he loves a weak currency, people who are investing overseas, that's a problem. Pull up politics or not, they got to get that money back into their own currency. And if you're investing in a weak U.S. dollar and getting it back, that's a problem. And look at this chart in terms of the separation. You get the dollar index in black and the 10-year yield in red. Okay, usually you had a lot of correlation, right? When you have high yields, there's going to be a demand for your currency to chase those high yields. So, even with the high yields, there's weakness in demand for the currency, period. All right, and you talk about inflation. This one out from the Journal, and yeah, we had some big numbers. You take a look at the inflation, okay? They got January, they do it monthly here. Now, the biggest numbers come in always at the beginning of the year. And, they talk about in here that some companies, it makes sense, right? The start of the year is a natural time to boost prices, whether it's gyms, raising memberships, Netflix, streaming services, retailers. Okay, they roll back the holiday discounts. They reset it in January when nobody's looking because they just spent all their money at Christmas, whatever it is. So you always have higher numbers in the beginning of the year. Not always, but that's the trend. In recent years, residual seasonality has been even more prominent. Much of the inflation since 2023 has come from businesses in the services sector. Many of those have a tendency to raise those prices in January. The beginning of the year is an obvious time, right? A doctor's office, dog walker, they do it. When you talk about supermarkets and gas stations, that's a different story. It's happening all year, every year. We know it does, right? You see it. It's very possible that retailers passed higher costs onto their consumers through post-holiday price adjustments, okay? There's been a price hike in January. Look at the hike we just had compared to where we were in 2024. And usually those numbers can translate through later in the year. And hey, like anything, there's a number of factors, right? Of course, inflationary factors are still going to be there, but they haven't materialized as they have in the past, and maybe they'll be slower to materialize than usual, for sure. But they're still going to be there, okay? They're still going to be there. Wages on the jobs front, still going up 4.5%, okay? We got an overnight lending rate at 3.5 to 3.75% right now. We have the unemployment rate near 4.5%, and we got people making 4.5% more when they're staying in the same job. So inflation's there. And we'll see how Mr. Warsh walks that tightrope when he jumps in with his first meeting in June. Now, when you look at the probability that we get anything out of Powell in his final two meetings, right now, the market, 17% chance we get a cut on the next meeting, March 18th, and about a 1 out of 3 probability that we get a cut from Chairman Powell before he's out of office. And then you go to the June meeting, and the market thinks that it's about a 70 to 30% probability that we get at least one cut, if not two. You go out to the end of the year, 2 cuts is all this market has priced in. Okay? I mean, can you imagine if we have no cuts by the end of the year? That'd be quite a world. Wonder what the president would have to say about that. Whether he should or not, but I think we all know he'd have something to say about that. 5.4% chance and a 21.3% chance we get one cut. Well, I think we're going to get more cuts than that, folks. As I said, even if we get no cuts from Powell and Warsh takes the helm on the June 17th meeting, he could still go cut, skip a meeting, cut, skip a meeting, cut, and get 3 cuts. And I think that's like the minimum path, especially if the numbers cooperate. But when you start trying to go out to December, folks, and it's February 9th, be careful with that as well, because this bond market's gotten ahead of itself repeatedly. All right, we take a look at the heat map. No, that's not today. That's not caught up yet. Oh, it sure is. My goodness. Look at this again. Look at NVIDIA. My goodness. All right. Somebody had the ability to digest over the weekend that Amazon's going to spend $200 billion. Okay? Google, Meta, Microsoft, they're all spending the money. and they're going to spend it on the chips. NVIDIA's up by 4% again. We're coming back. We'll take a look at the chip stocks, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. And NVIDIA shares up by $6. And man, you talk about a run from where we were on Thursday, folks. We're up $20, which is $500 billion in market capitalization, NVIDIA alone. And yeah, you have XAI nearing a $3 billion deal with Apollo for chips. Whether it's Amazon spending $200 billion, look at Amazon's down by 3% right now. Okay, the spenders are down. Not Microsoft, though. You're up 1.3%. Meta is flat this morning. We'll jump over to Google shares, down by 0.9% right now. Let's take a look at this heat map, some of those chip stocks. Broadcom up by 3%. AMD up by 1.5%. Micron off by 1.5%. Intel off by 3.5% right now. A lot of red on this chart. On the S&P 500, folks, whether you're talking about consumer staples, we got Walmart off 1%. Procter & Gamble off almost 2%. A lot of the healthcare stocks, Merck off by 2.6 as well. Yeah, Amazon. We'll get AppLovin and Oracle catches an upgrade up by 9%. Jump over to Oracle shares. ORCO. All right, we'll see what kind of volume we can get going, because that's quite an acceleration. That is not trading lower on lighter volume, folks. That is ramping up the volume as this thing trades lower. And we finish it up with metals. Gold up by 1.6%, 50.60. Silver right now, 81.36. And keep your eye on that dollar, folks. I mean, look at this weekly bar we got in the dollar, and it's not even 10 a.m. on Monday. Okay, we got some movement. There's your daily on the dollar, 96.91. Just chopping around where we've been for most of the hour. All right, folks, thanks so much for tuning in. Stay tuned. Basil Chapman, he's coming up next with the Tiger Technicians Hour. Steve Rhodes at 11 o'clock with the Trader's Edge. Fast Market at 12. Larry Pesavento live at 1 o'clock with Trade What You See. And I'll see you back here at 3 o'clock, folks. Have a great Monday, folks. Thanks so much.